Hi, thanks for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. I'm Andrea. Sometimes it's a suggestion. Today we're actually going to use a chair, specifically the seat of the chair. So I would recommend having something that you can just put a little bit of body weight onto as a seat. I'm standing on a yoga mat. If you don't have one, don't worry. A carpeted area that's not too slippery will work just fine. I also have a couple of yoga blocks. If you have thick books, those will work. And I have a folded blanket, so just the throw blanket from your couch or a folded bath towel, and you're in business. We'll start, as we often do, standing in Tadasana. And I think it's best if you use the short edge facing me. I think you'll see me best. If you're not using a mat, just facing me. I'll adjust myself so that you can see me best. Hip distance. Standing, facing the front edge of your mat. I'm a little askew because I'm making sure that you can see me. And we land here. We land in our beautiful posture. So turn your palms away from your body. Let that smile. Some expanse into the collarbones. There's a soft bend in your knees so we don't feel locked out anywhere. And as we stand, our feet in the earth, crown of our head to the sky, we stop so that we can start. And as we do, feel the arrows of attention turn inward as opposed to distractedly outward. And bring awareness to your breath. We breathe all the time, often without kind of really realizing. So notice your inhales. Notice your exhales. See if you can let that happen through the nose. Both inhale and exhale. And we'll add to our mountain stance a little bit of dynamic movement. Bend your knees, thumbs to the sky, a V shape, like you're sitting back into your heels, and then exhale. Stand and float the arms alongside you. Twice more like that. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, arms along your side. Once more, bend your knees, V-shaped thumbs to the sky. That's the inhale, and then we exhale, arms along our sides. Adding on, bend your knees, chair pose. As you exhale, bring your right knee towards your chest, palms face out. Back to our chair pose, feet hip distance, thumbs to the sky, a V-shape. And then stand on your right leg, bring your left knee towards your chest. Chair pose, inhale. Exhale, knee to chest, palms face out. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, knee to chest, palms face out. One more round each side. Inhale, chair pose, V shape. Right knee towards your chest. Inhale, chair pose, V shape. Exhale, left knee floats towards your chest. One more inhale, chair pose, V shape. Stand it up. Pause, let's refine as we start to step back out into the world a little bit more. We're getting back to it. We want to make sure that we are in fact standing with a little bit of our mountain majesty as we wander back out into the world. So think ears over shoulders, over hips, over heels. Gaze at the bright horizon. Things feel a little bit brighter these days, don't you think? It's nice to get back to it. We'll step out wide. So if you're on a yoga mat, that means that your toes are facing the long edge of your mat. And then palms face in front of you, thumbs to the sky, and we'll find a little bit of a measurement, and it's not an exact science, but it's ankles underneath wrists. We may need to change that a little bit. Turn from your right hip, your right foot to face the short edge of your mat, and then sneak your left heel at a 45-degree angle. And here's our measurement. When you bend your front knee, if your knee is forward of your ankle as mine is here, we just need a little bit more front and back space. We refine the recipe. Thumbs stay to the sky, bend your front knee, and once we have the measurements, we'll make this dynamic too. So inhale, thumbs to the sky, front leg straightens. Exhale, bend your front knee, warrior pose. Inhale, V shape, arms overhead. And then exhale, front knee bends, warrior pose. Inhale, thumbs to the sky. Bend your front knee, warrior pose, pause. We'll refine some alignment here too. Feel your front heel, your right heel, stamp into the ground. And let your right hip hug underneath you. Imagine your right hip is interested in visiting your left big toe. Obviously, it's not going to really do that. But let that inform what it is that you're creating here. If your arms get tired, simply lower them and then bring them back, thumbs to the sky. And we want thumbs to the sky so that we don't create something that feels pinchy or cluttered in our shoulders. We are warriors, after all. We want a clear vision, a spacious one. 2 more moments here, stamping into that right heel and feeling our mountain pose happening in the left leg, the back leg. Now 1 more time, V shape, straightening the front leg. And then we'll head in with a little bit of a change here. Bend the front knee once again. Right forearm, karate chops your right thigh, so side angle pose. And we're using what's called the obliques. So we're turning our right ribs to the sky. Left thumb stays to the sky. And then remember all the spaciousness. See if you can create that between your shoulders and your ears. And your right hip is still interested in visiting your left big toe. And stay with this for a few moments. Really feeling space on the bottom ribs. Really feeling a little loving nudge of your right forearm to turn those right ribs to the sky. So it's not about craning our neck, it's about finding it in the torso. 2 more moments here. Let's exit with grace. Up to our warrior pose, thumbs to the sky. Straighten your front leg and turn all of your toes to face that long edge of your mat. And then our spacing should be pretty okay. We'll turn the left leg out from the hip so that it faces the short edge of your mat, and then cheat the back heel, the right heel at a 45-degree angle. Thumbs to the sky. We'll check it out. We'll make sure that our spacing is all that we hoped it would be. And then we'll make this side dynamic as well. So straighten the front leg. Thumbs to the sky. A V shape is our inhale. Exhale. Bend your front knee, warrior pose. Inhale, V shape, arms to the sky, straight front leg. Exhale, bend your front knee, warrior pose. Once more, V shape, front leg straight. Settle into your warrior. We'll refine some alignment here too. Stamp your left heel. Hug your left hip as if it's now trying to get to your right big toe. Your back leg feels like it's standing in your mountain pose. There's no scrunching of shoulders into ears. We stay and feel a little oomph, a little heat building in the equation. 3 moments here, I'll be quiet so you can meditate. Straighten your front leg, V shape, thumbs to the sky. And then head back in to your warrior. This time, left forearm across the thigh, right thumb to the sky, and we nerd out a little bit on the bottom ribs getting long, and the side waist muscles turning left ribs to the sky. Remember that your right thumb stays to the sky, no scrunching of shoulders into ears, and that means both sides of the equation. Stamp the outer edge of your back foot into your mat and liven up the inner arch of that back foot. 3 moments to meditate as you lovingly encourage the bottom ribs to rotate to the sky with your left foot. this side with grace too. Warrior pose, thumbs to the sky. Slowly straighten your front leg and turn all toes to face that long edge of your mat, then heel toe consciously. So mindful movement, even in the in-between moves. We return to our mountain and we move mountains as we step to the front edge of our mat. This is where you will want to use your chair. I've got mine sideways so that I'm not blocking your view, but you could turn it so that the seat of your chair is facing you. Just want it to be sturdy enough that you feel like you can use it. Feet hip distance, we return to our mountain. And then inhale, arms out to the side, a V shape overhead. This time exhale, hinge at your hips, take your hands to your thighs. So our half sun salutation we often do. Inhale, heart extends forward. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, a V shape, and then palms face out as we stand in our mountain. Again like that, inhale, arms out and up. Hinge at your hips, take your hands onto your thighs. Inhale your heart forward, ready? Hands onto the seat of your chair. Now, I don't want you to scrunch here either, so we want to find that spaciousness of our warrior. And then just step back so that you start to feel a little bit more weight into your arms. Now, I don't want anybody's head lower than their hips, so that's our story and we're sticking to it. Low belly lifts, a little bit more oomph into the hands. And the inner upper arms feel like they're spinning out in front of you, not collapsing to the ground. 2 moments here. With your belly firm, step hip distance closer to our chair. Take your hands onto your thighs. Inhale, traction, lengthen your spine. Exhale, deepen the hinge at your hips a bit. And then inhale, arms out, thumbs to the sky, V shape. And then we stand into our mountain. Again like that. Inhale, arms out and up, a V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands onto your thighs. Inhale your heart forward, take your hands onto the base of your chair, step it back, just to that place where you can feel that you're using arm strength. Low belly is lifting, we're not collapsing, shoulders towards ears, we're spinning the inner upper arms out in front of us. We're breathing. And then walk your feet hip distance, a little closer to your chair. Hands onto your thighs, inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hinge at your hips, and then inhale, arms out and up, a V shape. Stand into your mountain. We're going to use a little bit more core strength for our next little adventure. Inhale, arms out and up, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, take your hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Now situate your hands onto your chair, but keep your right foot on the ground where it is right now. Just remember that trunk stability that we found, and this time take your left leg back behind you. All toes face the ground. You can have quite a bit of bend in your right knee. And if it's too long in this position, you can step hip distance anytime. That's where we're headed in a moment together. Stay for a few moments here. Really feel your low belly drawing in and a little bit of oomph into your right leg. There's some balance here. 2 moments of meditation. And then step left foot hip distance, hands to your thighs. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, a V shape. Stand in your mountain, palms face out. Remember, we're getting back to it. Back out in the world where we want to stand tall and float in balance, just like we're doing on our mat. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands onto your thighs. Inhale your heart forward, place your hands onto the seat of your chair, and then shift the weight onto your left foot and start to lift your right leg back behind you with all toes facing the ground. Now it's tempting to do all kinds of compromises as we lift that leg. Instead, try to keep the evenness in your hands that we found when we were doing what's called puppy dog, and we had both feet on the ground. So it's as if we aren't lifting that right leg. bend in your left knee, no problem. If you need to step the foot down before I mention it, please do. No collapse. Belly lifts. 2 more moments of meditation together. Here. And then step your right foot hip distance from your left. Hands onto your thighs. Inhale, heart extends. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up. Thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Stand in the majesty of your mountain. Inhale, arms out and up, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, take your hands to your thighs. Inhale, heart extends. Bring your hands onto the seat of your chair. Step back into our little puppy dog, just letting it be what's called symmetrical, so even once again, since we did one side and then the other. We're feeling the oomph. We're letting the inner upper arms spin in front of us. No head lower than hips. 2 moments. A bit of an arm workout, what do you say? We're going to further that arm workout in a moment, not to give away the surprise. Now walk feet hip distance closer to the seat of your chair. Take your hands onto your thighs. Inhale, lengthen to your spine. Exhale, increase the hip hinge. Arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Stand in your mountain. This next sun salutation will take us to the floor slowly. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs. Inhale, grow taller than you have yet today. We're back at it, right? Hands to the base of your chair, and then one knee, and then the other knee onto the ground. So all that trunk stability that we found serves us in a functional way as we get down into the ground. I'm moving my chair. You may want to move yours. And the other thing is, it could be time to trot out the blanket or folded towel for underneath your knees. We come onto hands and knees on all fours. Now I find a couple of things helpful. One is to keep my toes curled under, also to be upon my blanket. And then you don't want your hands too far in front of you, that's not going to be stable. You don't want your hands too close to you, that's not stable, and that's just too much of what's called extension at the wrist. So shoulders over wrists, hands spread wide. Especially feel the knuckle of your index finger and the knuckle of your thumb, and then that webbing in between. Now, when we were doing stuff on our chair, I said we don't want to collapse. That's true here too. And you want to lift your low belly. Now, step your right foot back to flirt with a plank, and it's actually so much like what we did on our chair with the leg elevated off the ground, right? Now, remember how we were finding evenness in our hands on the chair? Let that be true here. Also, 2 moments. Think shoulder blades on the back. And then right knee down. If you want, anytime, you can kneel, make little circles with your wrists, because I know it's a bit intense on our wrists. And then when you come back, remember that we want shoulders over wrists. We're just going to go back through our checklist. Low belly lifting, and then step your left foot back, toes curled under, so that we feel a little bit of a flirt with the plank and an evenness underneath of our hands. Breath steady. I told you it was going to be a little bit more of an arm workout, and here we are, as promised. 2 more minutes. Step your left knee down, come kneeling, do a little release of the wrist, because we're going back in for a second round with the possibility of a full plank, if that works in your world right now. So make sure that regardless of whether you're going to take it to full plank or not, but especially if you're going to be completely weight bearing on your hands, shoulders over wrists, low belly lifting, right foot steps back, this is plenty. Think shoulder blades on your back as you push oomph into your arms. Maybe left foot steps, and it's a full plank for a moment. You keep breathing, whether you have just your right foot stepping back or both feet stepping back, then left knee down, right knee down, come kneeling, and make your circles. Perfect. One last go around here. Get situated, shoulders over wrists, hands spread wide, low belly lifts. left foot steps back, and this is plenty. If it makes sense, right foot could step back also. Hip distance with your feet is going to be probably the best way to support yourself. Keep breathing, 2 more moments. And then right knee and left knee, and we kneel, and we take a moment to release the wrists and to let our arms feel our work. Move the blanket off to the side and come onto your belly. So take your time, remember, mindful movement, including as we move our props around. Once you're on your belly, Sphinx Pose, forearms on your mat. Hands are still spread wide, so sometimes people get tempted to make a fist. Let the hands be relaxed. They've done a lot today. Traction your elbows towards you. Let your heart move through the gateway of your arms. Press into the tops of your feet so much that you feel your kneecaps lift up just a smidge off your mat. Low belly lifts here too, like we've talked about in a number of poses we've done, but now your low belly is against the ground and you can actually feel that. It's pretty cool. 2 moments here, chin parallel to the ground. And lower down, make a pillow with your hands and rest your head to one side. I'm not going to do that to you because my microphone will squish. Bend your knees and then windshield wiper your legs side to side. So you're lying down on your hands. I'm going to spare you that with my microphone. But we're releasing the low back just in case it appreciates it. A little windshield wiper action. And then one more time into Sphinx. So forearms down, traction your elbows towards you, chin parallel to the ground. See if you can press into the tops of the feet so that the kneecaps lift. But we're not making it so that it's painful in the low back in any way. Chin parallel to the ground, 2 moments. And this time when we lower, you'll slide your hands back. We're going into a child's pose. So come through all 4s and then sit back. You can have your knees quite wide. A lot of us, the hips stay pretty high. That's fine. If they sink towards the heels, great, no problem. You can rest your forehead on the ground or rest your forehead on a block. Think of your arms doing a little of the oomph that they did on our chair. 2 moments here. Now come onto hands and knees again. Find your folded blanket. It's likely that will be a helpful prop as we sit cross-legged. I like to fold mine taller. Maybe you don't, and you have a little bit less, or maybe you'd like more and you use a cushion or a pillow. Something from your couch or your bed will work. Then come onto your perch. Sit cross-legged, not really crossing at the ankles, crossing at the shins. So as you can see, I'm walking my feet a little bit more so that the ankles are underneath the knees. That's going to make sure that it actually lands in our hip rotators, which we would like. And then we're sitting up tall. For a lot of us, the knees are quite high, so that's why getting up on our perch will make it a little bit more knees and hips on the same basic line. Now sit tall and think of sitting in your mountain. We'll add a bit of a twist here. Thumbs to the sky. This is our V shape, just like we did standing. And then turn. Remember the side waist muscles, the obliques that we found in our warrior pose? We find them here. And then left hand on the outside of your right thigh, right hand back behind you. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, just a tiny little loving nudge into the twist. Sort of like our forearm during our warrior pose. 2 moments here. And then unwind gently. Thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Let that be an inhale if you can. Exhale, turn, turn, turn to your left. And then it's just the other side. Right hand on the outside of the left thigh. Left hand back behind you. Inhale, grow tall. a little loving nudge into our twist. Stay with this side for a few cycles of breath. Gently, slowly, we'll reorganize the cross of our legs. So lean back. Sometimes it's nice to just give them a little waggle of freedom. And then left shin in front of right shin. And remember, a little closer as opposed to at the ankles. And then sit atop your perch. Place your palms up or down. If we're going to get back at it, we want to make sure that we're crystal clear. So 2-minute meditation here. You can keep your eyes open with a soft gaze or close your eyes. 2 minutes starting now. Stay here in your meditation if that feels good to you. Or very carefully, remember, we're mindful. Dismount, waggle your legs, come off your blanket, move your props off to the side, and then lie back. Feet flop open, palms face the sky for your final Shavasana meditation or your seated meditation. Let yourself completely let go. You're welcome to stay here in your Shavasana meditation or seated cross-legged position as long as you would like. If you're ready, gently move your fingers and toes, bend your knees and place your feet on your mat, and then easy does it, roll to either side if you're coming out of your Shavasana. If you're seated in a cross-legged position, that's where we're going to come and meet you. And then we end palms up or down. If you think about it, 2020 was a little bit of a meditation, and Slowly, little by little, go back at it. We've just taken a meditation on our mat. We'll step back out into the world. But having pressed pause, we might have a little bit more insight, both on our mat and off. Thank you for practicing with me.